I follow an awesome attorney on Threads, and she brought up the fact that we talk about the law a lot and all of the litigation, especially surrounding like immigration, but many people don't understand the court system and kind of what the hierarchy is, what gets heard, how it's heard, and some of the basic understanding necessary to know what it is that's happening in litigation. So I wanted to take some time to explain that, okay? Now, there are 94 federal district courts around the country. So in our 50 states, we have 94 district courts. Now, those district courts hear federal controversies. So we're not talking about county courts or state appellate courts or state supreme courts. Things that are heard at a state level will be, state crimes, family law matters, civil matters. There are a lot of things heard in state courts. Federal courts are going to hear, let's say, more complex or serious matters. So misdemeanor DUI is going to be heard in a county circuit court. It's not going to be heard in a federal criminal court. Federal crimes are going to be more serious crimes. They often cross state lines. Same with civil lawsuits in federal courts. There are a certain amount of controversy. You might have parties that are in different states. And when we're suing the government, we're doing so usually in federal court. So there's 94 federal district courts, ignoring everything at the state level. Then there are 13 circuit courts, which are the appellate courts, okay? So of those 94, they're assigned appellate courts. And those are broken up into 13 different circuits. You might have heard of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They essentially cover different geographic locations, right? Regions throughout the United States. When you appeal something from the federal district court to the circuit court, you can only ask them to review essentially issues of the application of law. So they are not going to make a determination on facts. That is not going to be reviewable. They're only going to make a determination of, was there an error made in the application of the law? And sometimes they make a decision and then they send it back down to the district court to comply with that decision. Other times it's more of like a final decision on a matter. And then from the 13 circuit courts, you can get appeal up to the Supreme Court. When you appeal up to the Supreme Court, or you ask the Supreme Court to hear your case, you file what's called a writ of certiorari. There are approximately 5,000 to 8,000 writs of certiorari sent to the Supreme Court every year. And they only take about 80 of them, okay? So when you hear that the Supreme Court has not taken the case, it's not that they said, okay, the decision made at the circuit court level was correct. It's just that it hasn't met the review standard for this to be something, that they want to consider. And oftentimes these are not the justices reviewing these thousands of writs of certiorari. These are their clerks and their support staff going through these cases and kind of deciding what is a controversy that is important enough to hear at the Supreme Court level. Okay, so when we hear about Texas suing the Attorney General in district court in Texas and it being nationwide, it's because the law is applicable nationwide. It's all federal court and usually federal law that is being applied in the case. And then again, it goes up to the circuit courts, which are going to have district courts from various states appealing to them. And then finally, the Supreme Court. So I hope this helps and provides a little bit of clarity on how the court systems work. And also, keep in mind that oftentimes there are controversies where for example, the U.S. citizen, the 2-year-old U.S. citizen who we heard was deported, that is a matter that is heard at the district court level. It is a federal district court case. It isn't something having to do with federal law, immigration law, but there's a family law component to it because we know that the dad who was here, there's this custody issue. We don't know if he had parental rights, and then that might have been held at the state court. So sometimes there's intersection of the two. Anyway, I hope this helps. I thought it was interesting to note that we speak about these cases, but we haven't really explained how the courts work together.